2016. The final primary of the presidential race has ended, with Hillary Clinton the projected Democratic winner. One man is dead in Williams County following an officer-involved shooting yesterday morning. Now, according to the Williams County Sheriff's Office, they responded to a residence on US 20 near County Road 7 for a well-being check. Now on NBC 24 exclusive. Dozens of local animals need a home, and NBC 24 called on the community for help. And you answered in a big way. Thanks to your generosity, we were able to find many forever homes for the animals looking to get adopted today. Now, NBC 24 teamed up with Perrysburg Pet Wants to clear the shelters. Well, now to your NBC 24 Metro report. The 15th annual Dragon Boat Summer Learning Festival took place at International Park in downtown Toledo today. Now, the 40-foot Dragon-style boats raced up and down the Maumee River. Over 30 teams participated in today's event. Right now, it's being called one of the best NBA finals, one of the best sports championship series ever. Yeah, Laura, as you mentioned, this is day 2 of what neighbors here on Noble Street are calling a horrific tragedy for that 13-year-old little girl who was bound in her basement by her stepbrother Eston and her stepfather Timothy Sabaro. And, you know, she was here until Wednesday night when she escaped. But NBC 24 has just confirmed that her mother of the 13-year-old girl is Stefanda Hawkins. Well, it was definitely a scorcher out there. Let's check in with meteorologist Allison Peters. Allison, we were at the Relay for Life today, and you could just feel the sweat pouring down. It was that hot. All morning, we have been following a developing story out of Pike County. 2 Pennsylvania state troopers were shot after a late-night ambush at the Blooming Grove State Police Barracks. Good morning, Monica. Well, here we're on Church Street near Rudder Avenue in Kingston, where it's a very popular spot for people to exercise, use their bikes, or just enjoy the outdoors. Now, just a few minutes ago, they arraigned a man who is from Plymouth, but who they say is homeless for attacking the woman. At this point, state police have no suspects in custody, but they are urging residents in the Nanticoke area to make sure that your windows, your doors are locked and to report any suspicious behavior. This energetic little girl from Scranton uses any free time she has, including during her cheerleading practices, to make bracelets in hopes that she can help find a cure for cancer one day. These pieces of gravel may not seem like a nuisance, but for 82-year-old Betty Huggins of Toledo, it's a nightmare.
It's just a totally safety hazard. My mom cannot walk down the sidewalk. She cannot walk out her driveway. It's just a terrible eyesore, and the problem needs to be resolved.
The Toledo City Sewage and Drainage Department started digging up several areas on Melrose Street, including Huggins' driveway and the sidewalk directly in front of her home back in June. City officials tell the NBC 24 investigators a sewer line was being restored after a sinkhole was reported. In the process, crews dug up Huggins' driveway and the sidewalk.
And then she got to pass through here, and usually she comes out the driveway there, but it's just so hard to be able to do that.
The problem, when the restoration project was complete, the pile of rocks and gravel was left behind untouched for months, causing a safety hazard for Huggins every time she steps outside her front door.
From the U.S. postman to the kids riding their bikes up and down the street, when you get to my mom's house, you have to veer a little bit because you just cannot get, it's unpassable.
After making several complaints to city officials and getting nowhere, Betty and her son Michael Huggins turned to the NBC 24 Investigates team for answers.
They're not considerate one way or the other, no. And several times I've called down there, you know, like I had told the gentleman earlier, called down there 2 weeks ago, and she said that she would get with the engineer department, and if they didn't call me, that she would call me, which I never heard.
Toledo Commissioner David Pratt told NBC 24 the city's sewage and drainage department is aware of complaints filed by Huggins over the last 4 months, and that the city is responsible for repairing any damage done to Huggins' property during the restoration project, but couldn't give us an answer as to when it would be fixed. Whether 11-year-old Anthony Crabtree is telling jokes, busting out a dance move, or trying to land a front flip, one thing's for sure, Anthony's personality is one you won't forget.
I like being active, and I like Call of Duty Black Ops, and I like zombies.
While we didn't find any zombies at Sky Zone, we did find ourselves in the middle of a dodgeball tournament. And who knew there would even be a little trash talking. After defeating the adults in dodgeball, Anthony bounced his way through Sky Zone, playing basketball and flipping. Anthony's confidence is just one of his many characteristics that will help aid him with his dream job, playing in the NFL.
I want to be a running back. I want to be a fullback.
Anthony's capacity to bond and join a family is still very much intact. Removed from an abusive and neglected home, Anthony has been in foster care for over 2 years. Behind his contagious smile and outgoing personality, he is aching for a family to call his own.
I want them to be young. I want them to be active. I want to live on a farm. And I want to have pets. And I just want them to be nice and have a nice home.
A bonus for Anthony would be loving parents who are active and embrace his athletic abilities, much like Tim Overly, Kids Count 2 Administrative Director, who Anthony looks up to.
He's nice. He's caring. He's obviously crazy.
Well, the good news, Anthony is available for adoption, and if you are interested in making Anthony a permanent member of your family, you're asked to contact Kids Count 2, and you can just head over to our website. We have a link posted there. We want to thank Sky Zone, guys. They let us come in for the whole day. We had a blast, and as you can see, Anthony has an amazing personality.
Oh, yeah.
So fun.
Well,
So
it's a great program that you have going here.
Yeah.
Just getting started, and we're
Yeah.
going to be seeing a foster child, prospective foster child, or prospective adoptive child every month, right?
Yes, every month we're going to start with one. Hopefully we'll get two, but we're going to start with one a month, highlighting them and what makes them unique. So I think this is wonderful, and their Kids Count 2 is excited, and we are here at NBC 24, which is awesome.
Yeah, what an impact it can make when
Absolutely.
find the right match.
We hope. We
Thank
hope.
you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thanks, guys. The Downside of Hensville is the title of this letter to the editor in addition to the Blade newspaper. The author, independent businessman Patrick Kreiner.
And I like to support independent businesses here in Toledo.
Kreiner tells NBC 24 he believes the impact of the Toledo Mud Hens and the Toledo Walleye will help with Toledo's downtown revitalization. But the Hensville project is on a new playing field where finances are not a concern.
Hensville is built with tax dollars and supported with tax dollars, while the independent business dealers are down here running their businesses with their own money and their own sweat equity. And it's kind of tough to compete down the street when the other your competitors are being supported by federal, county, and state tax dollars.
Within walking distance to both sporting venues, there are a variety of establishments to eat and drink, including Veritas Cork and Craft, which opened 2 years ago. While owner Franz Gillis is trying to stay optimistic, he says there's always fear when you're a local entrepreneur.
The hope is that there's market growth instead of just everyone else, just the piece of the pie is getting smaller. We're hoping that the pie is getting bigger, more people are coming down. If you haven't had the reason to come downtown yet for whatever that is, this should be able to give you one.
Ed Bazinski, owner of the Blarney Irish Pub, tells NBC 24 he was concerned at first. And after talking with Joe Napoli, president and CEO of the Toledo Mud Hens and the Toledo Walleye, he is ready.
I mean, what they're doing, they've done a beautiful job over there. So I think we have to step up our game to even do better. And I think where they don't, you're exactly right. We're locally owned. People that grew up right here in town, and we can have that special touch with the customers that they won't have.
Napoli responded to the article written in The Blade, stating what is rarely, if ever, mentioned is that the Mud Hens have used federal and state programs that are available to every private and public organization in the country. However, Kreiner feels like he could have done more to include local businesses.
I may have built Hensville and leased out the food and beverage dealer portion to independent providers, and kind of like found a nice way to make everybody participate in the great opportunities that are being brought out by having Fifth Third Field.
I can't believe that, I'm being charged for a criminal offense. I can't believe it. It's ridiculous.
Kathy and Melvin Duran are distraught after a warrant for their arrest was issued Friday.
I think it's insane, and I don't think that the prosecutor's office should be able to do this to anybody over a library book.
These charges come after the couple failed to pay late charges and failed to replace a lost Dr. Seuss book they borrowed from the Tecumseh District Library back in the summer of 2014. The Durans tell the NBC 24 Investigates team they were notified in December by the library about these fines but couldn't pay the $55 at the time. That's when they were turned over to the Lenawee prosecutor's office.
We received a letter from the Economic Crime Unit telling us that we would be prosecuted if these weren't returned or paid for.
The couple received a letter from the Economic Crimes Unit, who handles low-level theft crimes, telling the Durans they had to pay the library fees along with a $105 diversion fee or be criminally charged.
This group was, to my knowledge, it was created for people that were first-time shoplifters or people that wrote bad checks. And yet it seems like he's included rental property into this group and have somehow managed to bring books as rental property, which they aren't.
The couple tells the NBC 24 Investigates team they admit they are guilty of not paying the Tecumseh District Library these late fees until recently, but they feel they are being harassed by the detective in charge of the Economic Crimes Unit. They say they've even received several threatening voicemails.
I think a lot of people have paid these fees because of his threats. People are scared. And I don't think it's right that he should be able to do this to anybody.
According to Lenawee County Chief Assistant Prosecutor Scott Baker, that diversion fee is legal. However, the Tecumseh District Library policy for lost or damaged materials doesn't say you will be turned over to the Lenawee County Prosecutor's Office if you violate the policy on the application itself or in the policy.
We never should be held for a crime. We didn't commit no crime. We didn't steal no book. And they, as of right now, they have the book, he have the money, I don't get it.